Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Trent from the World Guy, and welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, I'm bringing you another quarterback situation video. Today, guys, well, at least in this recording session, I'm going to be in the last three divisions out of the way on time for the NFL Hall of Fame game. Today, guys, we're going to be looking at the NFC North. We're going to start with the team that won the division, the Bears. The Bears currently have Mitch Trubisky, Chase Daniel, and Tyler Bray. These are the same guys that they kept last year, so you can definitely tell that they do like him. Chase Daniel, I think, is a somewhat reliable backup. He's a little inconsistent, but last year I think he did as well as you could expect Chase Daniel to play whenever Mitchell Trubisky was out. But I'll tell you this, like, Chicago hates Mitchell Trubisky for some reason. I don't know why. Like, he played really good last year, and I think he's going to get better next year. Man, they have a very good shot of winning the division next year with Mitchell Trubisky. And I mean, like, I think I can see him as being a continual Pro Bowl player. I honestly think Mitch Trubisky, I think Chicago's just not giving him a chance for some fucking reason. I mean, in the wild card game last year, he drove them down the field, and it was the special teams that messed up the fucking game for him. So it's like, that wasn't Mitchell Trubisky's fault. And throughout the year, he always showed, like, especially this year, he showed that he was much more of a running quarterback, too, that he was able to run down the field and stuff like that. He definitely shows some strength. I think second year in Matt Nagy's offense, it's only up from here on with Mitchell Trubisky. But yeah, Chase Daniel, I think, is a reliable backup. That's why they're bringing him and Tyler Bray back. Tyler Bray, I don't really have much to say about Tyler Bray. I think he's a good third stringer. I don't think he's great. But Tyler Bray, he was with this team last year, and then he was on the and then he got pushed to the practice squad. So again, him and Chase Daniel will be fighting for a second spot, and I'm pretty sure it's just gonna still end up being Trubisky, Daniel, and Bray. But I mean, I think they do like both those guys enough to keep them. So it's a solid quarterback room in the NFC North. The Vikings currently have Kirk Cousins, Sean Mannion, Kyle Sloter, and Jake Browning. Kirk Cousins, I never understood why he was such a hugely coveted free agent that some team needed to pay him $80 million to do it. I didn't understand it. Like, the Jets and the Vikings, I think, were the only two teams that are really vying for him, even though there were talks about, like, maybe the Browns, the Cardinals, the Broncos and stuff like that. But I never saw it. I mean, at least while I got into the NFL in the 2017 season, I watched Kirk Cousins play. I know he's had some good seasons with, like, Sean McVay and stuff like that, and Kyle Shanahan. And he might thrive with Kyle Shanahan. If it ends up not working out this year for him, maybe he can go to the 49ers next year if Jimmy Garoppolo ends up not working out. But anyway, Kirk Cousins, will he get better this year? He has to get over his bright light syndrome, or just not being able to play the big games and win against teams that have winning records. It's gonna be a really proving year for him. He's gonna have to try his best because he has two guys behind him who could be the future of this team. He has Sean Mannion, who they just got in this offseason. I think Sean, I don't like him that much. I don't think he's that good. I honestly don't think he's the most talented out of these three backups that are currently on the team. The Vikings usually keep three quarterbacks. I can expect Sean Mannion to probably get edged out, but I mean, just for some reason last year, even though he did bad in the preseason, the Rams kept him, and then I wouldn't really trust if Kirk Cousins went down that Sean Mannion would save my season, and I know it's like, well, backup's job's not to save the season. It's like, well, what's their purpose then, so I just don't really trust Sean Mannion with that. Kyle Sloter is a guy who I love. He was an undrafted free agent in 2016 or 2017 by the Broncos. And he looked pretty, at least I saw it in his preseason highlights, he looked pretty good, and I thought he could have been the starter for the Broncos. And, of course, they chose, Paxton Lynch and Brock Osweiler and Trevor Siemian over him. And I actually did a what-if where, a bunch of stuff happened, but Kyle Sloter ended up being the starter for the Broncos. And he actually ended up doing pretty well with the team. But Kyle Sloter, watch out for him, though. I'm going to say that because there's a reason that they've kept him on these past, I think this will be his third year with the Vikings. There's a reason why they kept him on. I think they're maybe slowly developing him into being the future starter for this team. I'm really excited to see him in the preseason this year. Go Kyle Sloter. I really do like him. And then Jake Browning, who they got from Washington State or Washington, I forget which one. Another guy who could possibly become a guy. Well, this guy can edge out Sean Mannion. I think he has more talent. and could be a starter. I don't know. I think they just got him just to try to have 4 quarterbacks and have 3 of them battle. But yeah, I think Kirk Cousins, Slaughter, and Browning is probably what it's going to end up being. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they just kept Mannion and Slaughter just so they can have a veteran presence. Even though I think Slaughter would be good enough. I have this weird thing in the back of my neck. Sorry. Next, the Packers have Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Kaiser, Tim Boyle, and Manny Wilkins. Aaron Rodgers has got a new guy this year with Matt LaFleur. Can he thrive with him? I think this is going to be a really proven year for the rest of Aaron Rodgers' career. If he ends up not being good with this guy, I don't really think he's going to get back into the Super Bowl conversation. I know a lot of people are saying he's the greatest quarterback of all time, and that's okay to say that. I don't necessarily disagree with it, but it's just, if he can't work with any of these coaches, with the drama bull crap, or just because, the Packers just aren't a good team right now, I mean, Matt LaFleur should be able to bring some new ideas, but I honestly don't see him being a success. But Aaron Rodgers, I mean, it does kind of suck because he is definitely one of the top 5 greatest quarterbacks, and if he went on any other team, like the 49ers or something, that would have been crazy if he went there. He probably would have won 4 Super Bowls with them. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, I think this will be the defining year for the rest of his career. Especially with the upgraded defense. Although he doesn't have a lot of offensive weapons, so it's not all on him, though. I will say that. Deshaun Kaiser, I like Deshaun Kaiser. I think he got a bad rap his rookie season going to the worst team in the league, which is the Cleveland Browns. He went 0-16 with Deshaun Kaiser. He lost all of his starts. And then he he got traded to the Packers, where he was in the first game of the year and then the last game of the year. Where in the first game of the year, he went in for Aaron Rodgers during the Bears game, and then Aaron Rodgers came back. Between then and there, Deshaun Kaiser didn't look that great. And then at the end of the year, when Aaron Rodgers had a concussion, Deshaun Kaiser came in, and they didn't score any points against the Lions. So I know a lot of people probably hate Deshaun Kaiser, or they're just like, he's not that good. But I like Deshaun Kaiser. I don't know why. He was 2 years ago projected to be a number 1 overall pick, or not number 1 overall pick, but first round pick with Mitch Trubisky, Patrick Mahomes, and Sean Watson. There's obviously a huge cutoff or distance between those guys. Like, Deshaun Kaiser's all the way over here, while Patrick Mahomes and all of them are off the screen. Okay, so obviously, but I think Deshaun Kaiser can have the chance to be a good backup in this league. I just think maybe this year under Aaron Rodgers, his second year, in the offense, maybe he'll be able to attune better, and maybe we'll get to see more of that. But he's got 2 guys behind him that could edge him out. You have Tim Boyle, who they got as an undrafted free agent last year, who he was able to make himself onto the practice squad or the roster or whatever. So there's something they obviously like about him. And I've heard good things about Manny Wilkins. I heard some people say that, hey, watch out for him. He can end up being the immediate backup this year. So we'll see. I mean, it could happen. This could be like a sort of like Brett Favre and all of his backups getting starting jobs. Maybe Manny Wilkins and Tim Boyle one day will get starting jobs and go against Aaron Rodgers. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I expect at the end of the year, or the end of the preseason, it's probably going to be Aaron Rodgers. I honestly see it being Tim Boyle and Manny Wilkins. I feel like Deshaun Kaiser will get edged out. I don't know. I don't want him to get edged out, but I expect that. And finally, the Detroit Lions, they have Matthew Stafford, Tom Savage, David Fales. Worst quarterback room or situation in the NFC North, at least. I think it is true, Matthew Stafford, I think he's overrated, and I think he's underrated. I think he could be a perfectly average guy. If he went to any other team, like the Carolina Panthers or the Seattle Seahawks, he would probably have a better career. But the Lions have never really been that good, and he's just never had a really good team around him. Now, can Matt Patricia build around him? I honestly don't think so. I think Matthew Stafford really has one more year with the Lions. Then Matt Patricia is going to be like, okay, look, I'm going to make a decision right here if they decide to keep him, the Lions ownership, which I think they will, but because I think they still believe that he's the future. I mean, he's one of the highest paid quarterbacks still, but maybe, or maybe next year he gets some competition like Jacoby Brissett, because Matt Patricia has been bringing in a lot of New England guys. Jacoby Brissett's, contract's up next year. We'll get to that in the next video, but yeah, Tom Savage. I do think Tom Savage, when he came out, a lot of people were thinking, yeah, this guy could be a starter. And when he went to the Texans, I think it was, he had a few moments, but, injuries and stuff and concussions, he's never really ended up being that great. And then you have David Fales, who was just a third stringer for the Dolphins for how many years. It's just, Matthew Stafford goes down. This is a terrible quarterback room. It does not look that great. they definitely need to upgrade next year with maybe Jacoby Brissett. Anyway, yeah, that was the quarterback situation for each NFC North team. Thank you guys so much for watching. What do you guys think about these videos or whatever? Yeah, so now this has been the Rogue Island. This is Trent of the Rogue Island, and I'll see you guys next time.